All right, you guys, welcome. So tonight we are going to get a little bit gritty together tonight. We're getting a little gritty. Hey, Eva, I like your headband.
No, choo-choo, Hot Mess Express is here. Just done.
See, this is the energy I'm talking about. We need to harness Eva's hot mess energy. It's working. I love it. Who did we lose? Katie. No, Katie's here. Kara. We lost Kara. Oh no. Okay. So tonight we're gonna get a little messy. We're gonna get a little gritty. And what I would love us to do is collectively, not just me to you, but even like back to me, I would love us to kind of like hold up a loving truth mirror for ourselves and really like hold the mirror for each other and kind of reflect back to one another, and to mirror ourselves, so that I hope you're ready to work, because we're going to do a little bit of like soul work tonight. Kara's like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. I'm out. You just look like super surprised. I love it.
I have my mirror.
You got your mirror. See, I don't have a mirror. I need a mirror in here. I should have a mirror, but I don't have one. But we can pretend like a metaphoric mirror.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you guys, like, you know that I feel like you are all fiercely capable of doing whatever it is that you desire to accomplish, whether that's in your personal life, your business life, your coaching life, your relationship life, all other aspects. You know that I feel that you are as capable as you will ever be. But the problem is, for a lot of us, is it doesn't matter how much other people believe in us, we still don't believe in ourselves, right? We don't believe in ourselves enough to show up for the things that we say that we want, right? And you might be able to recognize that capability in everybody else around you, but for whatever reason, you can't recognize that capability within yourself, right? That sometimes recognizing that capability in everybody else becomes a self-limiting belief for yourself, because you relate that to thinking that, well, then you can't do those same things because you don't look like that person, or you haven't gone through what that person's gone through, or you don't do the things that that person does. But what I want you to challenge tonight is, whose narrative is that? Whose narrative are you hearing? Whose voice is that? What story, what narrative? Who told you those things that made you believe that who you are today in this form doesn't make you capable enough to achieve the things that you want to achieve? So that's the truth mirror that we're going to hold up tonight. And we're going to do a little bit of work around that, a little bit of soul work around that. So maybe you think you've gone through too much, or you're going through too much, or you're in a hot pile of sweaty, shitty garbage that you just can't seem to get through. Maybe you feel like that's what's holding you back. Maybe you feel like that's what's making you not capable. But like, friends, that is the shit that's your superpower. That's the shit that makes you relatable, and that's what makes you real and authentic, and that's the shit that people want to see, and that's the shit that people want to hear, because there's so much noise on social media, fake noise that's not real, noise and just falsity. And when you decide to show up raw, authentic, own the shit that you're going through, own your sweaty, dirty garbage, and share that with the world, like, that shit is what lights you up. It makes you feel free. It makes you feel less heavy, but it also lights everybody else up who watches you, right? And maybe you think that people aren't going to give a shit what I'm going through, but people do. People do give a shit what you go through, because you all wouldn't be here if that were true, right? Because you watched me share my sweaty, shitty garbage all the time, and you connected with it. So why wouldn't someone else connect with that, right? I want you to stop comparing yourself. So I still do this, compare myself all the time. But this is the truth mirror, right? I recognize that I still have a lot of work to do in that department, because I look at other people, I look at other successful women, and I automatically feel like inferior and I'm not doing enough and I'm not that person. But that's my own narrative. And I recognize that. And that's from years of PB. I know that that's my issue and I'm still working through it. But I choose to take action even though I don't feel ready. I choose to do the things that freak me out and scare me, even if I don't feel like that person yet, because I know that if I do that and if I take that action, I will become that person in time, right? So stop. Okay, don't stop. Try to change the narrative around comparing yourself to me, comparing yourself to other partners on our team, comparing yourself to other coaches or other women or other business owners. Because whoever you think you need to be successful is a lie. That's living in a scarcity mindset, right? The only person you need to be successful is yourself. And the only thing you need to do is take action and take action consistently over time, right? So if you feel like, maybe you feel like you're a little bit too broken to show up in the capacity that you feel like you need to. But even if you're a little bit or a lot broken, it just means that you have the tools to put your shit back together and you're still wildly capable, even if you're a little bit or a lot broken. And all of those pieces, all of those nuggets, all of those things that like have felt like they've limited you, when you flip from that limited mindset to a scarcity, or when you, Freudian slip, when you move from a scarcity or limited mindset to an abundant one, those things that used to hold you back become the things that you start talking about, and they become your superpower. Your brokenness, your pieces, your things that make you raw and vulnerable and hurt and cause you pain, that can coexist with capability. You can be broken and capable at the same time. You can be putting yourself back together and capable. They can coexist. It is a lie that says you can't, right? Those are the things that probably, that like everything you've gone through and those pieces and the struggle and the pain and everything you've gone through, those are probably the things that are giving you the tools to allow yourself to grow through more shit, right? Like all of those experiences are how you become the person that you need to become to achieve the things that you want to achieve. But they also become your tools because you've been there. You've gone through that shit. You pulled yourself out of the hot, sweaty garbage, right? And you're still here. So you can either look at those as reasons for why you're not capable or why you can't succeed or why you can't do the things, or you can choose to look at them as your tools, your roadmap to how you're going to get to where you're going to go, because you've already overcome so much, right? I feel like I really believe that the hard things that we go through in life or continue to go, like sometimes it feels like we're just continuously going through hard shit in our life and it's just one hard thing after another. But I feel like we have to go through those things and we have to grow through them because it's testing our potential. It's testing our resilience. It's testing our ability, our grit, our strength, our character. You know, you put all these huge, big, lofty goals out in January and you say, this is what I want to become. This is who I want to be. Life sometimes has a way of throwing shit your way to see what's going to stick and what you're going to let go. And sometimes you have to grow through all of the shit and hard to then become the person who you need to be for those dreams to happen in the first place. Maybe you aren't ready to be that person yet. But after X, Y, Z, 54 other things that happen, then you become ready. You become that person. Right? So what we do, yes, we're helping people with their fitness, and yes, we're helping with their mindset and nutrition and all those things. But what we really do is we're working on our personal development. We are helping teach people how to become better humans while we become a better human at the same time. And that opportunity gives you the permission to scale who you are as a person first, right? so that you can scale who you are in this business and who you are in relationships and who you are as a partner and a wife and a mom and whoever. But that's what this opportunity, this business has done for me. It's given me the tools to work on myself. And then that has bled to every other aspect of my life. But happiness and confidence and belief and love and acceptance and joy, all of that shit is an inside job. If you're looking for someone else to make you feel those things, you will always be looking for that. Right? Like our family, our friends, our team, our relationships, they can all add to our day. They can all add to our happiness and add to how we feel satisfied at the end of the day. But they're not going to make you feel good about yourself. They're not going to make you feel joy and abundant and confident and calm when everything else feels like it's spinning. All of that shit has to be an inside job. And we talk about that a lot on our team, on our calls. We talk about that a lot. But are you making that a priority in your everyday? Right? Because it's one of the hardest things I find as us, for anybody, not just coaches, but I think it's a huge part of our culture. So we talk about PD all the time. But I think actually taking action and doing the personal development is hard for a lot of people. But it's also the easiest thing to skip when life gets busy. Right? And here we're holding up the mirror. I looked at my gratitude journal this morning and it had been 7 days since I was in my gratitude journal. 7 days. And I asked myself yesterday why I was feeling anxious, why I was feeling overwhelmed, why I was feeling all the things. I haven't been prioritized. Yes, I'm listening to personal development on my walks, but I'm not starting my day with personal development. I'm not starting my day with gratitude and visualizing what I want for myself. I'm not starting my day with setting up the tone for the rest of my day. Right? Eva, I saw you went to go get your book. Do you want to share? When's the last time you did?
March 19th. And then I started March 22nd, but didn't fill it out. So something happened that morning. But basically March. And then I guess my kids started sleeping like shit and I didn't.
Right.
I was getting up before her and now I don't. So it'll come back around and I know it, but I actually, Natasha, I had the same thought today. I said, I'm not, that piece is missing, that me. Yeah. I am listening to the PD and stuff and it's really great, but it's not a full circle. It's not the whole complete. I'm working out and that's what it was. I was like, I'm working out, I'm working my mind, my body, but I'm not like pouring in. So
yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, yes, you're listening to the personal growth. Yes, you're doing the workout. But that time that you have to sit and meditate and visualize, and maybe you're not there, maybe you're not meditating, maybe you're only visualizing for 10 seconds, that's fine. But that's the time that you need to then like put everything together, put all the pieces together, right? Here's another hard mirror moment. Are you doing your personal development and your journal and your card selection in the morning for social media, or are you doing that for yourself? That's a hard little mirror look, because I will be straight with you. There are often times where I'm just pulling cards and taking pictures and I'm losing the moment that it's supposed to be just for myself. So reflect.
Amen on that, like way amen on that, because that's why I've stopped posting as much as I did before for that very reason. So my personal work doesn't look like social media. So I had to think about that, okay, so I got to show that what I'm doing. Well, what I'm doing isn't something is not always pictureable. I'm in a different realm with that. So but when I was making myself be in that realm, I noticed that it was oh gosh, if I don't get this done today, it's not going to be on socials. And I've really kind of done away with that personally.
And here's the thing about that is there's something really beautiful and raw and authentic about sharing that. Right. And I didn't have enough time this morning because I was rushed and I didn't get up on time and I was rushing through everything this morning. But tomorrow I'm going to share that because I'm going to share the leap in my dates, because I'm sure there's lots of people who are looking at me and watching my stories and saying, holy shit, how does she have time to pour into herself every day? How does she not fall off track with that? I do fall off track with that. But what I know after 4 years of personal growth is I'm able to recognize the signs when my brain is not okay. When I know I haven't spent enough time focusing inward and really setting up myself and my day the way that I can show up the best. And that's the truth for me. If I don't take that time, I'm not showing up as the best version of myself the rest of the day. I'm bitchy, I get annoyed, I have no patience, and then I lose joy in all the little things, right? It's hard. We are going through a really hard season. And a lot of you are going through an even harder season on top of that. You have to show up for yourself first. And so if that means that you're putting your phone away for your personal growth time, put your phone away. Take one picture at the end with everything set out if you want to, but put your phone away. Make it about you and your time and your growth, and then share it after when you're done that if you want to.
Right? Amen. Exactly that. Exactly that.
Right. So if you're not doing it yet, if you're not, and here's the other little truth mirror, who's not doing personal development?
I'm not doing personal development the same way.
You're doing your own personal development and that matters. That's okay. Right? So Monica's like, oh, hi.
No, I'm doing mine, but
okay.
I'm like you. I'm listening to it, but I forget my 5-minute journal. I forget to plan my day. I forget my meditation. It's like, okay, got my workout in, but the rest of the shit, I'm like, okay. Like today was a write-off, and I just posted about it. It was funny that you're doing this today because I'm like, woke up with the biggest migraine and nausea kicked in, and then there went my day. There went my mood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honestly, how do you plan your day? What is planning your day? That is something I have not nailed planning your day.
I had a very hard time doing it because I was never a person to plan my day. I was always like flying by the seat of my pants. I've always been like that. I've always been go, 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 go. I know I need to get this done, but I've never really had an organizer. But how I plan my day, show it to you. And it's funny that we're going through dates because this was last week's and I haven't done this week.
Mm-hmm. So we have a similar one. Like we actually made a planner, Monica. We have a similar one. I kind of took her planner and kind of added a few things, but that's what we do too. Well, that's what I do now, but I do it on Sundays. I don't know, when do you do yours, Monica?
I do mine every morning. Just because
I check in.
I used to find that way that it helped me better because then it planned my day. Because if I did it on Sunday, I'd be like, okay, like that's my work one. But for like myself is like, okay, I gotta do it day by day because everything's changing. Like, because everything that changed as of Monday is like, okay, what's going on now?
So I plan mine, like I plan my week out on Sundays, but then I check in each morning and change if I have to change something. Because sometimes I'll have meetings that show up, or Rich will have a meeting and then I'll have to shift my morning, or I don't get up at the time that I say that I'm going to get up. Then that throws off my, my routine too. So I do a general planning the whole week ahead. And I can show you what that looks like. I literally map out everything, and we can maybe do a call on this next week. I map out, I put in there, it looks terrifying and it's all color coordinated, but I literally put my work life in there, my business life in there, my family life in there, everything goes in there, all of it. And then I check in with that every morning for 5 minutes or whatever, and just flex if I have to flex on things.
I like your color coordination.
Nice.
No,
Makes
because
my
that
brain
to me,
happy.
like, that's how I work for work. I work with
Mhm.
colors. So I might, okay, yeah, I might do that with my planner now. Thank you.
I keep the colors the same every time. But let's make a plan to have a call about that next week, and we can kind of talk about strategy and how to plan and all that kind of stuff. But
So can I just jump in?
yeah,
for
go
a
ahead, Jen.
second? Monica, you just pulled out your planner, so I just pulled out mine. I used to do this religiously every Sunday. The last date that I did it was October 31st.
I like the truth
So-
Yeah,
here.
Shannon, me and you are the twins here with this. I don't even remember the last. At least you know when the last time good
I
intentions.
I've been having a really hard time doing anything but just the basic. And when I say the basic, I mean, I'm trying to post as consistently as possible. I'm trying to post on stories as consistently as possible. And I'm just trying to keep up my own group right now. And
Mhm.
like, I'm still drowning. I just moved my meds up on Saturday because my body crashed again and my health anxiety went through the roof. And it's just been a whirlwind, to be honest.
It's hard.
So,
It's a
yeah.
hard season. It's a hard season. And I think
yeah. Like, and I just
I
spent
think
all
it's
day
okay to
in
own
ER.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I spent all day in the ER today because I had one kid who was, well, my twins were playing with a shovel digging for worms. And then one hit the other one in the hand by accident. And I thought it was
Oh.
broken. If I'd have just waited an extra hour, I probably could have saved myself a lot of trouble. But I was so convinced that it was broken and I needed
Mhm.
confirmation. So it just sucks. Like, so now I'm beating myself up over that because I jumped the gun and but I posted about it.
You're a mama. You're a
But I posted
mama.
about it and said, like, I'm impulsive. It's part of my anxiety. And I don't regret going, but I kind of regret not taking a few
Waiting.
seconds to,
And see, that's what, so I did a live about that in EP today. That's where really starting, and maybe that's where you need to focus your PD, Shan, is starting to separate your self-worth and your
Mhm.
self-love with what happened or your decisions,
Yeah.
right? It's just data. Because now
I
you're
know.
able to look back and say, okay, yeah, I could have probably waited a couple more hours. So the
Yeah.
next time something like that happens, instead of impulsively going to where your heart, beats a little bit faster, you can say, I'm going to wait it out to like 2 hours and then decide.
Well,
Right?
I
It's
did
just-
wait it out an
it's
hour and a
data.
half. I feel like that was pretty good.
It's way longer than I would have waited out. I'm just saying.
But I should have, like, honestly, if I'd have been truly listening, when he started putting the ice on the wrong hand, that should have been my clue that he was
Yeah.
fine, but whatever. But I did want to say, like, my PD for me has been walking with my daughter. I've been meaning to buy that book, Monica. It's on my list. I just haven't bought it
Can you
yet.
share it? Again,
Yeah,
it's
put it in the-
burnout. Can you put it in the chat?
Are you liking it?
I want to write it down.
Have you read her other book?
No, I haven't read her other
more
book, but
sexy
I
time, I
started
think.
it because
Ooh,
I was
need
like,
that one.
this is how I'm feeling. I'm like, it's the burnout that I'm feeling. So after I had my cry on Monday, I'm like, okay, I think I need to read this now.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
been using just nature and quiet meditation, like my 15-20 minutes in the morning where nobody's awake.
Yeah.
And it's just me in darkness with coffee. That's what my PD has been, because I've just been sitting and thinking and not touching my phone and just being with myself, because I'm finding everything else so loud right now.
And I think that's you pivoting, right? That's you pivoting. That's you looking at what's not working and deciding how to claw your way back to yourself. That's a win, right? That's a huge win. And so maybe you're not doing PD right now. Whoever, who's not wanting to put their hand up, maybe you're not. But here's the thing, if you're not doing something to claw yourself back to where you want to be, if you're not doing some sort of PD to fuel your mind and to grow through your circumstances right now, then you're letting yourself stay stuck. That's a choice, right? That's a choice that you're making to stay stuck. You're not opening yourself up. You're not opening yourself up to growth. You're not opening yourself up to new ideas. You're not opening up yourself to become the person that you need to be to achieve the things that you say that you want. So hold up the truth mirror. Are you doing PD? One. And if you are doing PD, are you really doing it? Or are you just doing it for social media? Right? Because this business is not hard. The mindset for this business is hard. And the mindset for life, let's just be real, the mindset for life is hard.
And I'll just add to that, Natasha.
Mhm.
Something that I learned over these past few weeks is like, there's PD that you can do for the business. There's PD that you can do for your team, your leadership.
Yeah.
And then there's the PD that you need for yourself.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
to me, the one that I need for myself comes first, because then
It
that
should
one is
always
going to
come
help me.
first.
And then
Yeah.
that one's going to help me with the rest.
Absolutely.
So just remember that it's like, yes, we have PD, but we kind of have to go into the branches, right?
Yeah.
And then bring them all into one.
Because the thing is if your heart set and your soul set and your mindset aren't all okay, it doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't. At least it doesn't for me. Like if my heart and mind and soul aren't there, it doesn't matter how many invites I set. I will not have a single person join my team or join the Empowerment Project, not one. And that's because people can read your energy, right? Like, and you put out, you attract what you put out. And that's where I have a little sneaky thingy at the end of this call, a little attraction. We're gonna wait for that. So PD.
Just dangling that carrot right there. Right?
Dangling that carrot, making you stay around a little bit. Do it. And don't just do it for like a day or two. Commit to something. And when you do the PD, you have to connect with it on a soul level. I don't do a lot of leadership PD. We have tons of resources for leadership PD. Team calls, my virtual upline is gold for leadership PD. My PD needs to go around making me as a human feel good so that I can show up in the capacity that I need to lead and serve the way that I need to, right? It also, like PD and shifting, like, sorry, I just got this random message from Richard. All of a sudden, he totally like threw off my game on my computer. Damn you, Richard. Right. So if you're not doing those things, you're not opening yourself up to growth. You're not opening up your mindset. You're just staying stuck, and you're staying in a scarcity mindset rather than shifting to that abundant mindset. Right. It also gives you the courage, you guys. It gives you the courage to show up as you are and not give a shit about what other people think about you. It also shifts everything else in your life, right? When you start doing that personal growth work, it's not just helping your coaching business, it's helping your relationships. It's helping you as a mom. It's helping you in your business. It's helping all of those things. It also changes your perceived limitations. And that's something else we're going to dive into tonight. Limitations aren't real, you guys. They're just glass ceilings and things and narratives that you've either told yourself for so long, or other people have told you for so long that you believe them to be true. Right? I listened to the Mindset Mentor today, actually, and he talked about this. He talked about self-limiting beliefs and limiting mindsets, and he talked about how like everybody thought like going to the moon was impossible until somebody did it. Right? Everybody thought you couldn't run a 4-minute mile until somebody did it. Somebody told you, or you told yourself the same thing over and over and over again. And then so you just believe that to be true. PD helps you change those. PD helps you dive deeper and change those perceived limitations that you have on yourself. When you get there, you'll be like, well, like PD helped me, like PD gave me the ability. No, it didn't. All of you have the ability, you all have the capability, you're already that person. PD just helps you smash those perceived limitations that you put on yourself, right? So show of hands, how many of you have self-limiting beliefs? All of you should lift your hands. Right? Okay. How many of you have held yourself back from something because of those perceived limitations? How many of you have held yourself back from limitations that a friend has put on you or a spouse, right? Or parents? Right? Your belief that it's not possible is what's holding you back. It's not your capability. You're already capable. You've always been capable. It's just whether or not you believe you are that matters. So what is holding you back from claiming the life, the thing, the relationships, the person, the whatever, the feeling that you want to feel as a human? What is holding you back from that, from achieving the things that you want? What are the perceived ceilings that you put on yourself? Have you even like flushed that out? Have you done the work to figure out what are the narratives that you're telling yourself that is holding yourself back subconsciously? What sorts of things are you saying to yourself every damn day? What are the narratives that you unconsciously say out loud or in your head about your limitations or your capabilities every day? What are the false narratives that you can't build the business that you want to? Is it fear of success? Or maybe it's fear of success and the requirements that you're going to have once you hit that success. For example, maybe you look at me or other leaders and you say, well, shit, if I become a diamond coach or a star diamond coach or whatever, I'm going to have to lead a team like they lead, and I don't feel capable of doing that. Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of uncertainty or making a mistake? Don't like failing. I don't like doing things wrong. That's me. I'm too tired, 100%. I don't have time. I'm too busy. I'm unorganized. Right? All of those things are just self-limiting beliefs. Yes, 100%. You may be in a hard season and you may be short on time, 100%. But all those other things are not true. You've just told yourself they're true for so long that now you believe them. And what happens is because you base your belief on what you can do tomorrow based on what you've grown through, all of that negative self-talk, all of those self-limiting beliefs that you've told yourself are now impacting what you are going to do tomorrow. That's it. That's on you. That's all on you. So if you want that to change, if you want to grow into the human that you are capable of being today and already capable, that's where you have to start. And here's the thing, if you are holding yourself back because of fear of failure, fear of making a mistake, or disappointing someone, disappointing yourself, maybe disappointing or someone else's opinions, right? Then Shannon, I'm actually thinking of making a podcast, but that's a different story. Then you aren't actually living your life. You're living someone else's life, right? Like if you're living your life based on what someone else is telling you, or fear of someone else's opinions, or fear of X, Y, Z, then that's not your life that you're living. That's someone else's life you're living. Let that sink in a little bit. Doesn't feel so fluffy good, right? To me, when I hear that, and I've had to look really hard at myself, and I hear that, I'm like, fuck that. I don't live for anybody else. I live for myself. Fuck all y'all, not you guys, but like everybody else, right? Like, no, it sucks. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good in your heart your soul and your gut, whatever, when you say that shit out loud. So what are the words that you're using every day? That is your challenge tonight. We are going to write some of that shit down. What are the words or the phrases or the things that you're telling yourself that you're using every day that become a perceived limitation? Is it time? Is it skill? Is it money? Is it organization? Write that shit down, or write them all of the above. I better see you writing. I'm saying, Lindsay, I can't see you, but I'm just going to pretend you're writing. I'm going to go back to the chat here.
What are we writing down? Sorry, it's chaos here.
Your perceived limitations. What are the words or the phrases or the things that you're telling yourself every day as to why you can't do something?
It's chaos
So,
here.
Chaos, time, organization, et cetera, et cetera. Write all that shit down. Those are all perceived limitations, right? This is what's holding you back from achieving the things that you say that you want. The narrative that you're telling yourself is what's stopping you from creating the things that you want. That's it, no one else. Not something you aren't doing, not something you aren't capable of doing, not something that isn't happened yet or hasn't happened yet, not on the size of your Instagram following, none of that. It's all based on the things that you're telling yourself every day. And here's the thing, you will fail. You will fail. We all fail. You should be failing in this business. You should be failing in your business life, like not just coaching, but like your other life too. If you aren't failing, then you aren't growing. If you aren't failing, you're not trying something new. If you aren't failing, then you're not shifting and learning and pivoting and using it as data to then change it for something else. You will fall flat on your face. And that's what I tell my new coaches now. You will fail, but fail forward. Fail forward. Pick yourself back up and keep going. You will get no's. You will get people who unfollow you. You will get people who don't answer your messages. I do. That's not about you. That's about them. They're not there yet. But if you can be consistent and you can keep showing up and you can be you, and they will be back. You don't have to, and here's the thing that I always remind myself when I'm feeling like super doubtful or like I'm having a hard comparison day. You don't have to have belief in yourself to take action. You don't, right? You don't have to believe in yourself to take action. But if you take action and you take action consistently, you build belief and you build confidence and you build the things that you need to build to become the leader that you need to be, that you're all already capable of being. Right? So if you feel fearful of general invites, do them more. You will become less scared. You will become more confident. You will find your voice. If you're fearful of conversations, have more conversations, because that will build your belief and your confidence in yourself. Fear of talking about coaching? Talk about coaching. Talk about how it helps you, why it helps you. What's changed for you? What does the community bring for you? Take action and you will build the belief that you need to stay consistent and to keep going. Okay, we're gonna do some more work. So I want you to write them all down. So if you've written all, like, write down what your self-limiting beliefs are, right? Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not organized enough. I'm not thin enough, whatever it is that your self-limiting belief is. I'm not as great of a speaker. I'm not whatever it is that those things are in your head. Do you have them written down? Okay. Here's what I want you to do. And this is going to drive my point home, you guys. I want you to pick someone and say your self-limiting belief as if you're telling that to that person. Oh, right. Let me show you. It feels disgusting even trying to say it to somebody else, right? Okay, who am I going to choose? Who am I going to choose? Eva, you're just in you're right here, so I'm picking you. You're just not successful because you know your voice doesn't matter as much as that other person's. Oh, you would never say that to somebody else, ever. Just got like full body chills. The shit that you wrote down that you say to yourself every day, if you can't say that to each one of us here, why the fuck are you saying it to yourself every day? Sorry if there's children around. Right? So let's hear some of them. Let's hear some of them so we can kind of normalize that. Eva, that's not actually what I believe of you. Just by the way, I was just making a point. Just clarifying that.
Very good point. Very good point. But no, yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
So are we saying them to like not to?
We're just saying them out loud. We're saying them out loud to get them out.
You're not good at making posts or reels.
Okay. Hey, I have that too, Eva. I do. Sometimes I agonize over a post for hours. That's a self-limiting belief. That's the belief that you're not good enough, that your voice doesn't matter enough, and that you're not worthy enough for people to listen to.
You're not organized enough to be successful at anything.
There you go.
That's pretty much my only one.
Hey man, if that's your only one, that's fucking awesome. That's amazing. That's so good.
I'm sure there's some others, but that's like the biggest one for me that's keeping me back. It's holding me back, that I'm not organized enough, that I'm not type A enough. I'm not, I don't find enough time. Time and organization make me feel like a failure. Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
You have nothing valuable to add.
Now I'm going to push you there a little bit, Monica. Whose voice is that? Whose
Mine?
narrative is that? Is it
That's-
though?
And that comes from, it's always me. It's like, that's the comparison. That's the comparison element. When you see others like putting out, like, is it valuable? Like, okay, if they can put out this, mine's not going to be valuable because I don't have the same experiences or I haven't gone through the same things.
But you have your experience.
True.
And here's what I'm like, when you start to do the gritty work and you start to really dig deeper, that's the kind of shit that you have to ask yourself, is that my voice or is that my parents' voice? Right? Were you told to be quiet? You're too loud. You're too active. You're shouting too much. As kids, you guys, we internalize that our voice is not worthy. And it's not on purpose. Our parents aren't trying to make us feel that way. But that's how we internalize it. Am I frozen? Or is it just, no, okay. Right, so when you have those self-limiting beliefs down, challenge them. What about those things are false? So what is your proof? What's your book of proof for all of those self-limiting beliefs that you have there? What's your evidence that they're not true? Right? So for example, for the posting idea one, when you've been real and raw and honest about who you are and share that on social media, have you got crickets, or have you had people be like, thank you for writing that, thank you for being honest, thank you for being authentic? That's your book of proof. That shows you that what you have to say matters, you guys. And don't just stop there. Ask yourself those hard questions. Whose voice is that I'm hearing? Is it really mine? Or did I just hear a version of that for my entire childhood? And if that's the case, you will never grow into the human that you need to be until you address those things. You're not that person anymore. You're not that little girl anymore. You're a badass fucking woman with children of your own for some of you, right? Those perceived limitations, I want you to do the work to turn them into affirmations. Take the things that you feel really about and not confident about, and turn them into affirmations. But don't turn them into the I am affirmations, because if you have a big bullshit meter like I do, you're going to read those I am affirmations and be like, well, that shit's not real right now, so it's not really doing much for me. Instead, use the phrase, I experience feeling. I experience feeling blank. I experience seeing blank. I experience having blank. That I experience part changes it to like the yet, the power of yet. It's not here yet, but I'm going to experience it. It's going to happen for me. But you're not saying I am that right now. So you're not like bullshitting yourself, you know, because I find for me, affirmations, I can kind of feel like I'm bullshitting myself a little bit, and then I don't really buy into them. Whereas if I say I'm going to experience this, growth mindset, yes. Right? So if you're struggling with weight loss, one of my affirmations now is I experience increasing my health and releasing however much weight. That's one of my affirmations. I experience what it's like to be healthy and not hurt all the time. Because a huge limitation of mine is that I am a health and wellness coach and I often gain weight. Who the fuck wants to listen to that? Right? I know that that's not true, but that's what goes in my mind. So to counterbalance that and to counter effect that, I have to flip the script on that and flip the narrative on that. So it might take you some time. It might take you some time to look at those, you know, those self-limiting beliefs that you have on there and flip them around to an affirmation, but do that work. Do that work. And if you're having trouble, like if you're having trouble figuring out how to reword an affirmation, post it in our team page and we can help. We can help each other, right? We can post each other's on there. Then what I want you to do is burn those bastards, those self-limiting beliefs that you have that you've written down, burn them. Because you don't want them to be true anymore. Don't leave them existing on a piece of paper somewhere. That shit needs to be burned. Light it up. What I hope that what I hope you guys get out of this tonight is that you can choose. It's always a choice. And that's powerful. We always have a choice in this. We either choose to stay the same and to not grow, and to continue feeling the shitty shits that we're feeling. Or you choose to take your limitations that you feel, your perceived limitations, and look at them as opportunities instead. Look at them as opportunities to grow and change and step into the human that you're meant to be. And changing those affirmations, like changing those self-limiting beliefs and changing them into affirmations will then help you manifest. It's going to help you bring about the things in your life that you want more of. But you got to do the work. So, in that spirit, here is what I had an idea this week, and I would love your feedback on it. I don't know a lot of you if you know Jacqueline or not, but Jacqueline is very spiritual. She does a lot of like energy work and that kind of stuff. And we were talking this week about blocks, about like energy blocks, and how those energy blocks can really stop you from manifesting what you want in your life. And it could make you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you're inviting all the time and you're talking all the time, but nothing's happening. Like your Instagram's not growing, your reels aren't being seen, your invites aren't being responded to, you're not hitting Success Club or whatever it is for you in your business or your life. Those are blocks. Those are energy blocks. So what we thought of trying was partnering up and twice a week offering a structured work hour, but having 15 minutes before that of energy work. So for 15 minutes before the structured power hour, we would do energy work together on Zoom to help release some of those blocks. It's going to feel hella stupid. I started it this week. I felt like a total weirdo, but I actually felt amazing after. So the idea is before we start the power hour, we'll do some so it's tapping energy work, releasing some of those blocks. And so one of them we'll talk about belief. And then we can take turns being like, what is it, some of our blocks? So maybe it's my Instagram's not growing. I feel stuck. My team's not building. I'm not finding my people. All of those things are blocks, and we'll tap it out. That sounds really dirty, but that's not what I mean. We're gonna like do energy tapping before the power hour to help release those blocks so that we're also getting ourselves in a vibrational like energy state that we want to work, that we want to connect with people, that we want to talk to people. And then all of that is going to transcribe in our messages. Do we like this idea? Are we scared of this idea? Are we not really sure what Tasha's talking about?
It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've noticed in Jacqueline, like in her stories and everything, she's embracing more of this side of her, and I really like that. And for her to share this around is really amazing. I'm down if I don't have a screaming kid, I'm down.
Relatable.
Yeah. I think that's the power of voiceover right now, right? I feel like I would just take Devin for you and I'll just bounce her. If we ever are in COVID, I would just bounce her around and I'll just send voice memos. I'll work and bounce you, baby. It's fine. And then I'll pass it back to you. That's the beauty, right? Great. Stupid COVID ruining our days.
Right. Now we're sleep training starting Friday, so my nights are going to be spent with a timer and yeah. So in a while I will join this because I really feel like it would be awesome. Something to try, something new.
Yeah. So we're going to be offering it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. But it'll likely be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. I think 7:45-ish, 8, depending. We can make a poll to see what is better for people. But it may just be Jacqueline and mine, that's fine. But then you guys know that will be dedicated work time that you can hop on and we can work together, and also do some energy work through that. And if nothing else, you'll just feel better, right? I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be really transformative for a lot of us, especially if you've been feeling stuck. If you're feeling stuck in the same place and like things aren't moving forward, you likely have a block there. And so that energy work, Jacqueline will kind of walk us through how to start doing that. And then you can take that and do that every night, right? Like it doesn't have to be just something you do with your power hour. You can take that and do it as a part of your evening routine before bed and work on the blocks that are specific to you and work through them. I have a lot of them. So many. Okay. That's all I have for you guys. I hope this like hit you right in the soul tonight. And it actually just, so here's the thing. Walking for me has been so good. It's been like, I was really dreading this whole 75 modified shit. And I was like, Kara, what the fuck are you getting me into? But like, I am so happy that I'm doing it because that time, that 45 minutes at nighttime, it like, I get to start my day with movement and end my day with movement. And it's like a beautiful bookend. And in that 45 minutes, you guys, I was listening to 2 different podcasts and I was like, I was writing this in my notes section as I was walking tonight. I had like ideas pop up and like phrases I wanted to say. And I like wrote that in my notes section for tonight. It's making me feel more creative again. And I was feeling less creative with all of the crazy. Janice, I saw a message. You say you pulled a card. Okay, share a friend, share the card. What does the card say?
Oh, I'll post it in the group. I guess I need to turn my camera on. Hold on.
Don't have to.
So I pulled this twice because I was like, that's too weird a coincidence. I pulled it once and then I did it again and I pulled it again. So
it needs to come out. So what is the meaning behind that one?
So this has been coming up a lot, like in readings, dance. And I think it's perfect that, I mean, not to segue into work, but you know, Shaun T's dance, if there's a reason why that, I think that program came out when it did.
I agree.
And
I agree.
Dance is a ritual. Dance is energy work. Dance, I feel like, I don't know about y'all, but the program has really made me feel like if I don't do it, like today I didn't do it and I've just felt like heavy all day.
Yeah.
And I don't have that kind of vibe for like 9-week control freak. Like I was not feeling it the same way. And like, I don't know, because I don't care where you descend from, there is some kind of ritual in your DNA, and movement clicks that, like it opens you up. So it's very spiritual and it's very ritualistic. So I just felt like it was so fitting that I pulled it, and then I pulled it again because I was like, there's no possible way that this is relevant.
I love that. I love that.
But it was. So I feel I can post it in the event too if you want.
Sure. I love that. I think, and so here's the thing, like if you would have asked me a month ago if I would have done this program, I would have said no. 100%. And same with you, Kara. I know. When you first came out, you're like, yeah, fuck no, I'm not doing this program.
I'm still a no. Like I watched the thing and I'm like, this does not.
Have you tried it?
No. And my kids asked me to do it. They're like, Mom, you should do it. So I'm going to do it. And that was the plan today. And then things went, but I don't know if you saw my last post, but now I'm asking for other people to do it too. I saw a few other people doing something like that. So I'm going to make a little message thread and get everybody's feedback. And then I have like more info.
Totally. And so, yeah, Monica, obviously. So I think what changed for me was Shaun T's call that we listened to. When I listened to his call, I was like, okay, I get it. I'm going to be doing basically PD every time you make me work out. But then when I tried the sample work, so we tried it for Super Saturday and I was like, I don't know, whatever. I haven't felt that much joy in a long time. I looked like a complete moron, you guys. I actually, the second time I did it, I felt like I had no rhythm. But the first time I did it, I felt so awkward and I felt so uncomfortable and I felt like just out of like a fish out of water. But I felt so much joy for the rest of the day. Like I felt so much happier. And I felt kind of sexier, which right now like is hard for me. you know? So if you would have asked me a month ago, I would have said no. But now I am convinced, like you, Janice, this is exactly what my soul needs right now. And even if I suck my way through it, I'm okay with that. Because even with sucking my way through it, I was at like 400 calories burned, and I was like, okay, well, clearly this movement is working and my body is getting the exercise that it needs. But my mind and my soul feel happy after. It's like the equivalent of like blaring the music with the sun blasting and the sunroof open. Like that's the equivalent of like my joy that I feel, right? Yeah. Anyway, so if you're not convinced about it yet, there's something about this program that I can't put my finger on. You have to give it a chance, and it's like dirt fucking cheap. Like it's so dirt, like I can't even get over the price of, like it's cheaper than the base challenge pack.
Yeah.
Cheaper than 186. It's 162. Like it's shocking to me. I think he's undervaluing himself. I just love him. I want to be his like best friend. I love him so much.
No, when he's like, pose and do a little hair flip and like work it.
Yeah.
And turns his little butt around. I'm like, yeah.
I know. I love it.
Dancing at the club. Ooh, I'm gonna write that down. Like
Yeah, I'm not a Sean Key fan, like at all. Like he drives me bonkers. But my kids watched the trailer with me, and like we all watched it together, and they were like, "Mom, you've got to try that." And I was like, "Okay, I will try it."
And maybe
So,
like
and
I know a
maybe
big one
they'll
for you,
like it.
Shan. Like a big one for you, Shan, is like getting your kids involved and getting your kids moving. And maybe this is something that you decide to do with them. And I know Nicole, so she's not on here tonight. She's visiting her dad. Her dad had a really bad stroke. I'm okay sharing that. I asked her. I'm not just sharing information.
While
Anyway,
in recording.
while in recording. So her daughter actually asked her to commit to Country Heat with her, and she fucking hates country. Like she's not a country thinger at all, but Mila is having a really hard time, and she was excited that she wanted to commit to movement, and so they did it together. And she's sharing that. She's posting it on social media, and I think like there's so much heaviness right now, and having that light and that time with your family and that time with your kids, I mean, that could be really special, Yeah. Anyway, I'm so excited. I hope you guys, I know our energy was a little bit low starting here tonight, so I hope you're leaving with a little bit more energy now that we're done. And I'm just so grateful for all of you, and I love you all to pieces. So I hope you have a beautiful night, and move your body tomorrow and flip those limiting ceilings around and change them to affirmations. That's your homework. Does someone take a picture? Do I need to do that still? I can do that. I can't hear you, Eva. You're talking away. But
I did. It's a little dark, but like I did. Yeah, I got one.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take another one. I'll just do a boom.
You aren't on there, but it says your name.
It just says Lindsay. Yeah, it just says Lindsay. All right, hold on.
Oh, look, she's there. Okay, all right.
Here she is.
All right. Oh, go.
Oh, you go, Eva, and then you tag me. That's good.
We'll do that.
Okay.
All right.
You take a picture or boom?
Yeah, just a picture.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, ladies, virtual hug. Bye.
Bye.